Hey everybody. Okay, hi everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in to Burton's Instagram Live. I'm Julie. We'll give it about a minute or two just for people to join in before we officially get started. Logistics for a moment, just while you're setting up your mat. I'm going to be facing the camera most of the time, so it might be helpful if you set up your yoga mat actually horizontal to the camera, but it's no big deal. Okay. So I'll officially introduce myself. My name is Julie Ciro. I am a yoga teacher here locally in Burlington, Vermont. I'm representing Sangha Studio. It's a non-for-profit, donation-based studio here in Burlington, just down the street. I really appreciate all of you just showing up to your yoga practice today, whether you are brand new to yoga or you do yoga all the time. This class is a class for snowboarders. I know that around the country, a lot of the resorts have closed early and the season might have ended earlier than we were hoping for. So this is just an opportunity for all of us to come together as a community virtually and move and breathe together. And the practice will target a lot of the muscle groups that we use in snowboarding. So think thighs, quads, hamstrings, hips. We'll do some balancing stuff to work on strength around the calves and the ankles. And we'll also do some spinal rotation. Just have fun. Don't take yourself too seriously. Move your body in a way that feels good. So we'll get started in a comfortable seated position. I like to kneel, but whatever that means for you is great. And then we'll take a moment just to get grounded, because I think we can all use that right now. So you can take your hands and place them face down on your thighs. If you're comfortable closing your eyes, go ahead and close your eyes. You could also choose a point of focus out in front of you. And just start to bring awareness to your breath. And all that means is paying attention to it. Right? Of course, as living beings, we're breathing all the time. But in yoga, we just add a sense of consciousness and awareness to the breath. So when you're ready, take a nice deep breath in. And a nice full exhale. And then on your next inhale, lift your shoulders up to your ears. And then as you exhale, peel them back and down. Do that again. Inhale to lift the shoulders up. And exhale to drop them back and down. And then on your next inhale, circle your arms to the ceiling. You can open up the eyes if they were closed. On your exhale, you're going to take a twist to your right. So your left hand can fall on your right thigh. Your right hand can fall towards the ground behind you. And then stay where you are on your inhale, get a little bit taller. On your exhale, from the center of your belly, twist a little bit deeper. On your next inhale, reach your arms up to the ceiling. You can gaze up. And on the exhale, you're twisting to your left. So right hand now falling on your left thigh. Left hand is to the ground behind you. Take a breath in, get taller. Take a breath out, twist a little deeper. And on your next inhale, arms high through center, gazing up, breathing in. Hands to heart center, breathing out. And then when you feel ready, we'll start to find your way onto hands and knees, tabletop position. So your hands will stack underneath your shoulders, your knees will stack underneath your hips. And on your breath in, you'll let the belly drop down, lift your chest forwards and up for cow pose. On your exhale, round and curl the spine for cat. Again, inhale, belly drops, gaze forwards and up. Exhale, round and curl the spine. One more time, inhale, drop the belly, arch the spine. Exhale, round and curl. And then the next time you inhale, set yourself up in a neutral spine. And remember that your neck is an extension of your spine, so try not to look forwards and up or drop the chin down, just nice and neutral. And then you'll send the right leg back behind you. You can start to elevate the right leg off the ground, engaging your low belly. And then you'll reach the left arm out in front of you. So we're just starting to find a little bit of core engagement here. On your breath in, think of lengthening through the left fingers, through the right heel. On your exhale, connect left elbow to right knee, round your spine. Again, inhale, reach left arm forwards, right leg back. Exhale, knee to elbow and round. Once more, inhale to get long. And then on your exhale, hands and knees to the ground. Inhale, belly drops, gaze forwards. Exhale, round and curl. And then on your next inhale, you're resetting your neutral spine. And then you'll reach your left leg back behind you, right arm out in front of you. Take a breath in here. On your breath out, knee to elbow, lift the belly and round. Inhale, kick back, reach forward. Exhale, knee to elbow. Once more, inhale, reach forwards and back. Exhale, reset hands and knees. Good. And then when you're ready, walk the hands forwards a little bit. You'll start to tuck the toes under, take a breath in. And on the breath out, starting to make your way into your downward facing dog. So downward dog is this inverted V shape if you're not familiar, right? The legs do not need to be straight. The heels do not need to be on the ground either. And you can take a moment to just settle in. So maybe a little pedal of the feet or a wiggle of the hips side to side. And then start to find some relative stillness here. So especially for the first down dog of the practice, I like to invite a nice generous bend into the knees. So there's a little bit more weight in the legs. And that way the belly can melt back towards the thighs and your spine can really lengthen. When you're ready, lift the heels high. Shift forwards into your plank pose. So you might need to walk the feet back a little bit. Shoulders are stacking over wrists. Take a breath in here. On your breath out, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Again, like that. Inhale, shifting forwards to plank pose. On your exhale, hips lift, downward facing dog. Good, once more. Inhale, shifting forwards to plank pose. This time we're coming into modified plank, so keep the torso where it is, just lower your knees to the mat. Good, on your inhale, send your chest forwards. On your exhale, elbows hug in towards your waist, lower all the way onto your belly. And then point your toes back behind you. Start to peel your shoulder heads back, lifting the chest off the mat, baby cobra, breathing in. And then place your forehead on the ground, breathing out. Again, baby cobra, chest rises, breathing in. Lower forehead down, breathing out. And then inhale, rise up onto hands and knees, your tabletop. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog, breathing out. And your down dog is just your chance to reset, right? You can always drop onto hands and knees or take a child's pose if you'd like to take a break. Moving on, when you're ready, lift the right leg high for a breath in. And then on your breath out, step your right foot between your hands. It could be one big step or a couple small steps. On your inhale, send your chest forwards. On the breath out, lower your back knee to the ground and untuck the back toes. If you need padding underneath the knee, you're more than welcome to double over the mat, or you could go grab a blanket, a towel, just whatever you need to do to feel good here. And then when you're ready, lift the arms to the ceiling. It's called Anjaneyasana or a low lunge. Now really think like you're dragging your back knee to the front heel. So your inner thighs start to turn on here. Take a breath in. On your exhale, lower your left hand to the ground, reach your right arm to the ceiling. Go ahead and tuck the left toes under, lift your left knee off the ground. Low lunge twist. Take a full breath in, twisting the ribcage to the ceiling. And then place two hands on the ground, step back, downward facing dog, breathing out. Good, inhale forwards to plank pose. Your choice, drop the knees first or keep them lifted, lower all the way onto the belly, breathing out. Baby cobra again, maybe you lift a little higher, breathing in. Lower back down to the ground, breathing out. Inhale, rise up onto hands and knees. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. When you're ready, reach your left leg high, inhale. On your exhale, you're stepping your left foot between the hands. Again, one big step, few small steps. Take a breath in, send the chest forwards. On your breath out, lower your back knee, your right knee to the ground. Set up padding if you'd like to, untuck the toes. And then you're rising up with the arms, Anjaneyasana or low lunge. Nice. Now feel the front ribs gather up and in here, right? Just so you're not dumping into the lower back, just so that your core is engaged. Breathe in. And then when you're ready, start to lower right hand to the ground, left arm reaches to the ceiling. Good. Go ahead and tuck the back toes, lift the back knee up, low lunge twist, spiral your ribcage to the ceiling, breathe in. 2 hands meet the mat, downward facing dog, breathing out. Good. When you're ready, take a little walk to the front of the mat with your feet. So just one step at a time, right? If you feel like you need to walk the hands back towards the feet and then walk to the front of the mat, you're just gonna eventually arrive in a forward bend towards the front edge of the mat. And then you can let the knees be soft here, grab opposite elbows and give yourself a little rock from side to side. Just lengthening through the hamstrings, through the low back. Knees can be as bent as it feels good for you. Right, if the hamstrings are tight, do bend the knees. And then let your arms hang down towards the ground. On a breath in, lengthen your spine, a half lift. Hands can slide up to the shins. On your exhale, release into your forward folds. Again, half lift, breathing in. Forward folds, breathing out. This time, rising to stand, arms reach to the ceiling, a big breath in as you reach the top. Arms beside you, mountain pose, breathing out. Take a full breath in here, just standing up nice and tall, rooting through the feet. A full breath out. We'll take some sun salutations. Arms sweep up to the ceiling, inhale, moving with breath. Forward fold as your exhale. On your inhale, lengthen your spine. Bend your knees, place your hands on the mat. We'll step back to plank pose this first round. Take a breath in your plank, push the floor away. On your breath out, you're lowering halfway or all the way to the mat, elbows hug in. You can always drop the knees. And then into your back bend. It could be upward facing dog or stay with baby cobra. If it's up dog, you're pushing your feet into the ground and lifting the hips away from the mat, breathing in. And then low belly lifts, downward facing dog, breathing out. A full inhale here, a full exhale here. Heels rise, knees bend, look forwards. Take a little jump or walk to the front of the mat. Half lift, inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Rising all the way to stand, big breath in at the top. Arms beside you, mountain pose, breathing out. Arms reach right back up, breathing in. Forward fold, breathing out. Halfway lift, inhale. Bend your knees, place your hands. You could do a jump back to plank or step back and lower down. Up dog or cobra, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. A full breath in, a full breath out. Heels rise, knees bend, look forwards. Hop, step, or float, feet to hands. Half lift, breathe in. Forward fold, breathe out. Good, rising all the way to stand. Maybe a little upper back bend up at the top if that feels good. Breathe in. Arms beside you, mountain pose, breathe out. Good. Chair pose. So feet are parallel. I'll turn towards you. You're welcome to have the feet together here or a little wider than hips distance. You'll bend the knees, get nice and low, touch the ground for a moment. Good, and then start to reach the arms forwards, and then lift the chest away from the thighs, arms reaching alongside the ears. Good. And then if you'd like, you can play with rocking the weight forwards into the balls of the feet a little bit, and then play with rocking the weight back into the heels a little bit. And it should feel familiar. Inhale, rocking forwards into the toes. Good, exhale, rocking back into the heels. And then see if you can find a place that feels really centered. Take a breath in. On your exhale, open your arms and your chest to your right. So you're twisting to your right. Breathe in. And then arms high, breathe out. Good, inhale, twist to your left. Open the chest, open the arms. Exhale, arms high. Good, one more time each side. Inhale, twist to your right. Exhale, center. Inhale, twist to your left. We're building heat. Exhale, center. Good, rise all the way up to stand. Maybe a little upper back bend at the top if you'd like. Breathe in. Awesome, forward fold, release it, breathe out. Lengthen your spine, inhale. Bend your knees, place your hands on the ground. We meet back in down dog. You're welcome to go right to down dog or pass through a vinyasa. Right, and a vinyasa is just the sequence where you come forwards, lower down, back bend, and down dog. And give yourself a chance to reset, maybe pedal the feet, maybe flutter the lips, or just a nice deep breath if that feels comfortable. And then we'll start to put in a little standing series here. So when you're ready, reach the right leg high on a breath in, and then step your right foot between your hands on the breath out. Now you're in a lunge with your hands on the ground. Before you do anything else, just think of your outer hips squeezing together. And then you'll sweep your arms back beside you and lengthen your spine forwards, send the chest forwards. Gather the right hip back a little bit. Take a breath in. Stay for an exhale. Good, one more breath in. On the exhale, drop the hips, lift the arms, you're in a high lunge. Nice, take a breath in here. On the exhale, you're twisting towards your front leg, towards your right leg. So left arm reaches forwards, right arm reaches behind you. Nice. Breathe in here, breathe out here. Both arms reach up to the ceiling, you're in that high lunge again, breathe in. And then spin your left heel down to the ground, warrior two pose, breathe out. Good. Arms are wide, your right knee's bent, your left leg is long. Good. And then we'll add a little bit of flow here. So on your inhale, front leg long, arms reach up. On your exhale, right knee bends, warrior two. Good. Again, inhale, front leg long, arms high. Exhale, warrior two. This time your arms stay wide. Your front leg. Good. Begin to reach forwards. Coming into triangle pose. So right hand can lower down onto the right thigh, the right shin. If the ground is accessible, awesome. All right, and you're just finding this nice clean shape in the body. A nice big wingspan from fingertip to fingertip. All right, and if you lost awareness of your breath, you can always come back to that. Take a breath in here. Good. Take a breath out. Good. Begin to bend your right knee, rise up through warrior two. Good. Now begin to lengthen your front leg, parallel all 10 toes towards the long edge of your mat. Good. Reach the arms high for a moment, breathe in. And then pivot your left toes to face the back edge of your mat. Warrior two on your left side. Bend your left knee, you're facing the back of your mat. Good. Take a breath in. On your exhale, hands cartwheel down, framing your left foot. Good. We meet back in down dog. You can step right to it. You can pass through your vinyasa. Nice. All right, you're always welcome to kind of pedal the feet for a moment in your down dog. And we'll take that sequence on the left side, facing the back of your mat. Left leg rises, breathe in. Left foot steps between the hands on the breath out. Good. Outer hips squeeze together, arms sweep back beside you, chest moves forwards. So you have a nice long diagonal line of energy from your right heel pressing back for your chest pressing forwards. Good. Take a breath in. On your exhale, drop the hips, lift the arms, high lunge. Nice. Breathing in. On the exhale, turn your chest towards your front leg. Right arm reaches forwards, left arm reaches back. Good. Breathe in here. Breathe out here. Both arms reach up to the ceiling, high lunge, inhale. Right heel spins down, warrior two, breathe out. Good. And just take a moment to get acquainted in the shape, especially if yoga is new, right? You don't have to try to match up your body to the way my body looks, right? You're just finding a nice, strong, steady shape. And then adding flow. On the inhale, both legs long, arms high. On the exhale, warrior two, front knee bends. Again, inhale, lengthen and reach up. Good. Exhale, drop back down, warrior two. This time, arms stay wide, lengthen front leg, reach forwards, triangle pose. Left hand lowers anywhere on the left leg, just don't press right on the kneecap. Right arm reaches to the ceiling. Good. And allow yourself to really feel like you're taking up space here, right? The limbs are reaching away from you. Good. Breathing in. Good. Breathing out. Begin to bend your left knee, rise up through warrior two. Nice. Parallel your feet to face the long edge of your mat. Good, arms reach high, breathe in. Nice, warrior two facing the front of your mat. So pivot the right toes, bend the right knee. Good, cartwheel your hands to frame that front foot. We meet back in down dog. Good. Little time check. We good, awesome. So we're gonna repeat that sequence, we'll add on a little bit. When you're ready, right leg rises, breathing in. We'll move a little faster. Step your right foot between your hands on the breath out. We're gonna add on a pose. Reach your arms back, send your chest forwards, breathe in. Now pour your weight into that right leg. Start to launch your weight off onto it. Left leg rises. You're in a warrior three pose. Balancing on the right leg. Your chest is moving forwards and up. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. Good, one more inhale. You're landing in your high lunge on the breath out. Ball of the left foot lands, arms high. Breathe in. Take your twist to your right. Left arm moves forwards, breathe out. Good, right away, both arms to the ceiling, inhale. Warrior two, back heel drops, breathe out. Moving with a little bit more speed, arms high, breathe in, lengthen. Warrior two, breathe out. Good, again, front leg long, arms high. Warrior two, breathe out. Good, a little different now. Peaceful warrior, reach up and back with the right arm. Right knee stays bent, breathe in. Extended side angle on the breath out. Bring right forearm to right thigh. Reach your left arm up and over the head. Good. Take a breath in. And a breath out. Good. You'll rise back up into warrior two when you're ready. Nice. Good. Now parallel your feet towards the long edge of your mat like we did. We're going to add on a pose here. Bring both heels in, your toes out. Now bend your knees and cactus your arms. It's called goddess pose. Good, good. So your hips are dropping, your spine is long. Nice. Now either you can hang out here, maybe rock a little side to side, do your thing, or if you want a little bit more challenge, just lift the left heel up for a moment. Good, then drop it down. Good. Lift the right heel up for a moment, then drop it down. Good. Lift both heels up and stay, breathe out. Good, maybe you shift the weight over to one side and then shift the weight over to the other side. And it can be a little playful, right? If the balance gets a little wonky, it's okay. Good. Take one more breath in, center yourself. Drop the heels, breathe out. Good. Arms and legs long, breathe in. Warrior two facing the back of your mat. So left toes, find clarity there. Good. Breathe in. Cartwheel your hands to the ground. We meet back in down dog. You're welcome to pass through that vinyasa. Again, you're welcome to take it right to down dog and skip the vinyasa altogether. And we have a left side with that. Take a breath in first. Good, open your mouth and make a sound. When you're ready, left leg rises. On your exhale, step it between the hands. Arms sweep back, chest moves forwards, breathe in. Shift your weight onto that left leg, your front leg. So the back leg gets really light, warrior three. Good. All right, if you want to add a little bit more challenge here, you could even see what would happen if you tried to lift the heel off the ground. Or maybe you bend the knee. All right, you can get creative with it. Breathe in. And then you're landing in your high lunge, breathe out. Good, back into our sequence, breathe in. Twist towards your front leg, right arm moves forwards, breathe out. Nice, both arms high, inhale. Back heel drops, warrior two, exhale. Nice. Lengthen front leg, arms high. Warrior two, exhale. Again, front leg long, arms reach. Good, warrior two, breathe out. We shifted it now. Peaceful warrior, reverse warrior. Front knee stays bent. Front arm reaches back, breathe in. Good. Extended side angle is your breath out. Left forearm finds left thigh. Right arm reaches diagonally overhead. Good. Bring awareness back to your breath if you lost it. All right, maybe you play with gazing towards the ceiling and finding a little twist of your ribcage to the ceiling. Good. Breathe in. Rising up, warrior two, breathe out. Good, parallel your feet towards the long edge of your mat, inhale. And then we're finding that goddess pose again. Heels in, toes out. Now we're gonna play with something a little different now. We're gonna find a side lunge or something called skandasana. So you're gonna shift your weight all the way over to the right, flex the left foot, and sit the hips down a little bit. Maybe you play with bringing hands to heart, or you could also bring your hands to the ground. Good. And then when you're ready, you'll take a breath in, and then just shift over to the other side. Right, so you can play with this here. All right, maybe you crawl the hands from side to side. Maybe you see how it feels to not use the hands at all and really just use the strength of your legs to shift the weight from side to side. Right, and you're only going as low as it feels good for you here. You're only going as fast as it feels good for you here. Good. And I'm just definitely starting to work up a sweat here. When you're ready, you'll bend both knees. Find that goddess pose again. Breathe in. Nice. Lengthen the arms and legs. Breathe out. Good. Warrior 2 to the front of your mat. So right knee bends. Breathe in. Good. Cartwheel your hands to the ground. We meet back in downward facing dog. And then I'm going to give you the option to hang out in down dog and reset. Maybe pedal the feet. If you want a more rested, or just a softer pose to rest in for a moment, you'll find child's pose. Lower your knees to the ground, sit the hips towards the heels, and bring your forehead to the ground. And just taking about 3 rounds of breath to get grounded, to come back to yourself. All right, so whenever you're ready, we're gonna meet up in down dog. You can take a moment to do whatever you need to do. So maybe a cat-cow, or just kind of wag your tail side to side. So what we'll do is we'll take a couple balancing poses, just to get a little playful with it. And then we'll start to wind it down, take some stretches on the ground, and seal in the practice. Okay, so whenever you're ready, you'll find your way back to downward facing dog. From your down dog, you'll lift the heels, bend the knees, look forwards, breathe in. Take a little walk or hop to the hands, breathe out. Good, half lift on your inhale, forward fold on your exhale. Rise all the way to stand, breathe in. Hands to heart, breathe out. You'll start to shift the weight onto the left leg, bring your right knee to your chest. And for a moment, just think of getting really stable on that standing leg, so don't worry about the lifted leg. So think of engaging the glutes, the hamstrings, all of the muscles surrounding the bones there. Good. And then when you're ready, hands can be on your hips or heart, whatever feels good. Just start to push the air forwards through the right heel, so you're really turning on the quad. Good. Take a breath in. On your exhale, start to sweep it back, warrior 3. Good. So that pose that we already found. Nice. You can reach your arms back like we did before, or for a little extra challenge, you could play with reaching the arms out to the side, or bring the arms forwards. We're just gonna be here for one more breath in. And then you're gonna stand back up, bring the right knee towards your chest. Try not to let the foot touch the floor. Good. Find your tree pose now. Bring the sole of the right foot to the left inner thigh. I'm gonna turn to face you. It could be the inner thigh, it could be the inner calf, right? You just don't wanna stand right on the knee joint, so it could also be on your ankle, just whatever feels good. Good. And then when you're ready, start to reach the arms out to the side. Good. And then what happens if you look over your right thumb? And back to center. Good. And your left thumb. And try not to give the thumb side eye, really actually like turn your head towards the thumb. Good, and bring your head back through center. Nice, reach your arms up to the ceiling. Bring the knee towards your chest, breathe in. Chair pose as a counter pose. Breathe out. Good. Rise all the way to stand. Maybe a little upper back bend if you'd like. Breathe in. Good. Hands to heart. Breathe out. Nice. We'll just take the other side. Left knee rises to your chest. Good. Maybe give the ankle a little circle around. You were standing on that leg for a while. Again, you can keep the hands at heart center. You can bring hands to hips. And then it doesn't matter how high the leg is here. Just imagine like the air in front of your foot is really heavy and just start to push the heel forwards. So we're really activating the quadricep. Good. Take a breath in, get taller. That left leg into your warrior three. So you're aiming to get the leg and the chest more or less parallel to the ground. A little bend in the standing leg is always nice. And then any variation with the arms. Arms can be back, arms can be out to the sides, you can have asymmetrical arms, right? Whatever feels good. Okay. One more breath in. And then pull the left knee towards your chest, stand up tall again, breathe out. I'm gonna turn to face you. Good. Open the knee out to the side. That's it, and then find your tree pose. Good. Foot to inner thigh, inner calf, inner ankle. Nice. Good. And then we'll shift it a little bit. So let's find those cactus arms again, those goddess arms. Good. And then I can't see you to hold you accountable here, but I want you to close your eyes. And the balance will probably get really shaky, and that's great. Good. Good. When you're ready, open the eyes. Chair pose. Breathe out. Good. A full breath in. Fold forwards. Exhale. Good. Give yourself a moment in this forward fold. You might toe heel the feet just a little wider. Maybe bend one knee, bend the other knee. You can always interlace the hands behind the back to give the shoulders a little bit of an opening. That might feel nice. And then as you're ready, you'll bring the hands to the mat. Lengthen the spine, breathe in. Step back, downward facing dog, breathing out. Good. On your inhale, we'll come forwards into plank pose. And on your exhale, we'll lower all the way to the belly this time. Good. Point your toes, sweep your arms back behind you. And for a moment, we're just gonna lift everything off the ground. Arms, legs, chest. It's called Shalabhasana or locust pose. And right now what we're doing is we're just activating the glutes, the hamstrings for a moment, but in a different way. Take a breath in. Good. And then lower down, bring your hands to the ground by your ribcage. On your inhale, rise up onto hands and knees. And then on your exhale, just sit your hips over to one side and come to sit. I'm just gonna turn to face you. You can face in whatever direction you'd like. Good. We're gonna take a couple seated poses here just to kind of stretch things out a little bit. We'll start by bringing, here, you'll lengthen your left leg and bring the sole of your right foot to the inner left thigh. And if you do something different than I said, that's always okay. On your inhale, reach your arms up high. And on your exhale, really similar to what we did at the very beginning, you're just twisting to your right. So again, that left hand can ground that right leg, and your right hand can just fall to the ground behind you. Okay. Inhale to get taller. Exhale to twist a little deeper. Good. On your next inhale, arms high through center. Nice. And then you're gonna fold over your lengthened leg on the breath out. Good. And you can get creative here and make the pose really feel good for you, right? So if that means bending the knee so that your chest can rest on top of the thigh, that's a really nice option, especially if the hamstrings are tight. And if the leg long feels good, you'll keep the leg long. And we'll be here for about 3 to 5 rounds of breath. And when you're ready to let it go, you'll lengthen the spine and rise all the way up. You'll bring your right hand to the floor behind your right hip. Reach the left arm to the ceiling. You can stay right here, or you can start to rise up to stand on the right shin, reaching the left arm behind you. Take a nice full breath in. And on the breath out, sit the hips down if you lifted them. Good. And then we'll just switch out the legs. So right leg long, left knee bends. It kind of looks like tree pose on the ground. Arms high, breathing in. And then you'll take a twist to your left on the breath out. Inhale to get taller. Exhale to twist a little deeper. Good, arms high, center yourself, breathe in. And then you're folding forwards over the lengthened leg on the breath out. Maybe keeping the spine long or rounding, maybe keeping the leg long or bending it. And we're here for a few rounds of breath. When you're ready, lengthen the spine, rise all the way up to sit. Left hand comes to the ground behind the left hip, behind the hip of the leg that's bent. Right arm reaches high. Stay here or take a breath in. And on the breath out, you'll rise all the way up. Good. Breathing here. And on the exhale, sit down. And then we'll take one more forward fold. We'll bring the soles of the feet together, knees wide. And the heels can be close to you or far away, just whatever is going to feel good for your hips. On a breath in, sit up tall. And on a breath out, start to lean forward. Again, you can keep the spine long here, and you can kind of use your elbows to guide the legs open. You really decide how active or passive this is. So you can make it more active by pressing the elbows into the shins, or you can let the elbows come in front and just kind of let the head hang. When you're ready, we'll rise all the way up to sit. Good, I'm just gonna time check. Awesome, bring the arms outside the legs, gather your knees together like you're closing up a book. And if you're towards the back of your mat, you'll just scooch towards, so you're sitting in the center and your feet are at the front. And then for a moment, just kind of pull your belly up towards your thighs so you're sitting up nice and tall. Reach your arms out in front of you. Take a nice big breath in, lengthening through the spine. And then as you breathe out, start to curl the pelvis under in one vertebra at a time. Nice and slow, or really as slow as you'd like. You're rolling down to your back. And if you want to challenge the core a little bit more, you can roll down with the arms reaching overhead. And eventually the back of your skull will land, and you'll just hug the knees in towards the chest. And you can give yourself a little rock from side to side, letting the lower back really just melt into the ground. And we'll just do one more thing before we finish out the practice. We'll just take a nice soft twist here. So I like to lower the feet to the ground, and then you can just bump the hips over to the right, and you'll let the knees fall to the left. And then you can widen your arms all the way out to the sides, or you can find that cactus position. Really just whatever feels softest in your body, whatever feels good. Maybe looking over one shoulder. Take a soft breath in. And on the breath out, you'll unwind, bring the knees through center. Again, you can bring the feet to the ground if you'd like. And then you'll scooch the hips over to the left and let the knees drop to the right. And then finding any position that feels good in the body here with the arms, the head, maybe letting the eyes close if that feels comfortable. And then when you're ready, bring the knees through center. Hug them towards your chest once more. And then bring the hands to the shins. You'll just start to let the knees fall wide towards the armpits. And you're really just letting the lower back press into the mat, lengthening the spine. And then you can stay right here. Or if you'd like to try out a happy baby, you can reach the hands up towards the outer edges of the feet. And you're just letting the knees drop towards the armpits and flexing the feet towards the ceiling. And sometimes a little playful rock side to side might come in naturally. And then when you're ready, gather the knees, lift your head up off the mat, and give your knees a nice big squeeze, just giving yourself a nice generous hug. Take one more big breath in. And then when you're ready to release, Shavasana, corpse pose, your final resting pose. Traditionally, you're lying on your back. The legs will be long, about as wide as the mat. You can let the heels, or toes rather, just naturally fall wide. And arms resting beside you with palms face up towards the ceiling. Eyes can close. And now this is where I leave you. I'm going to encourage you to stay in your Shavasana, your final resting pose, for as long as it feels good. I would suggest at least 5 minutes if you have the time available. And thank you so, so much for practicing with Burton tonight. We really appreciate it. Once again, my name is Julie Ciro. Have a great rest of your night. Thank you.